Hi there, and welcome to the Soulful Shift podcast. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about why emotional intelligence isn't enough if you want to lead a team effectively, if you want to advance in your career, if you want to lead a company, if you want to have any level of success. I'm going to go deep into this today because here's the thing, everything I talk about has to do with the fact that the world has changed. What used to work 5 or 6 years ago does not work anymore. The world has changed and we have all changed. And so we need new tools, we need new strategies. And what I see so many people doing is doing the same thing over and doing more of it and hoping things will change. And unfortunately, that's just not going to work. So I want to give you the tools of what to do instead. So if you think about how we've seen emotional intelligence in the world thus far. So if you think about what is emotional immaturity, well, if you think about somebody who's emotionally immature, it is somebody who is very reactive. They get triggered easily. They let their emotions run them. They tend to be dysfunctional, right? They tend to create chaos wherever they go. And we know there's a lot of these people in the world, and there's a lot of people in the corporate system who are running from that emotional intelligence level, right? Very reactive. Now, what we've been shown and taught over the last number of years is emotional intelligence, which is absolutely obviously a level above emotional immaturity. But what it really is more comes from a place of I am responding. So I am in control of my emotions, meaning I'm not, creating outbursts. I'm not creating chaos. I am grounded. I allow myself time to process my emotions. I don't elevate situations. So if situations are volatile, I'm not reactive. So we've seen a lot of leaders over the last number of years, they have embodied this level of emotional intelligence, and it's beautiful and it was needed and it was necessary. However, it has run its course because I'm going to tell you what's happened now. Where we're at right now is because the world has changed so much and we have created this corporate system that's really it's dysfunctional in a lot of ways. What we've created is a lot of really brilliant, amazing people who have this level of emotional intelligence, but all they're doing is managing people and systems and processes and projects and everything. But they're responding to keep things just moving forward. So what I mean is they're the ones that are holding it all together. When everybody else is going chaotic, they're the ones that are holding it together because they have this emotional intelligence. When somebody sends a volatile email, and this is likely you if you're still listening to this, you receive a volatile email and you sit and you think, okay, well, how can I respond so this doesn't get more inflamed? This doesn't get more reactive. This doesn't get out of hand. So here you are, you're in your organization and you're constantly doing this. You're managing, using your intelligence, your emotional intelligence to actually keep things from really falling apart, right? And I've been there. I know what this is like, and it's bloody hard work. When everybody else is just doing whatever they want, saying whatever they want and just letting things fly off the handle or not meeting their obligations or like they're just not taking responsibility for themselves and their emotions. If you are somebody who's in that environment, it is taxing. It is exhausting. But here's the major, major problem with that. Beyond the fact that you are exhausted, which is an issue in of itself and it's not good for you and your health and your success, but it's actually keeping you stuck. It's actually keeping you exactly where you are. It's keeping your team behind. It's keeping you behind. It is keeping your results behind, your company behind, everybody behind. Because at the essence of it, at the core, what it has become is you using your emotional intelligence to maintain status quo of dysfunction. That's really what it has come to for so many awakened, conscious leaders. And it's frustrating because you're not getting ahead. So, what has to happen instead? And this is so important. This is not about doing more, okay? It's about actually shifting how you approach this completely. The next level that you need to move into is emotional mastery. So if you think of both emotional immaturity and emotional intelligence, what really happens if you take it up to the 50,000 foot level, which if you listen to me a lot, you know I love to do because it's so key to do this all the time. What that really is no matter how you react or respond, you are always reacting and responding. Something comes at you and you react or you respond. And what you're doing is you're really, if you're in an emotional intelligence place, you're just managing things, right? What has to happen is you have to start to come from a different energetic place. And this energetic place is, what do I actually want to create in this situation? Not how am I going to respond just to keep this from blowing up or keep this from moving forward. But it's taking this up a much higher level. It's just kicking this right up, going, how do I actually want this to go? Because you just responding from that beautiful place is just keeping things at this very low level. What needs to happen now is you need to bring this up. How do I actually want to see this situation? And how do I want to bring this up? Now, what does this require from you? So, a number of things. First of all, it requires you to know yourself more clearly. Requires you to know what you actually want. Because most people in this world are just reacting to the world around them. That's all they're doing. This is what I see. This is what I got to do. This is what I see. This is what I've got to do. You've got to literally step out of that paradigm. This is what the whole new paradigm is. And actually see and realize that you are creating your reality. So what do I want to create here? What do I actually want to happen? So I use terms like commanding the field. And this is a very, very new concept for a lot of people, but this is really deciding. This is not about control. Commanding the field is about energy. It's really an energetic place of, what do I want this result to really be? Really, like, what would be the ideal scenario? And then embody a frequency, a state of, it's happened, it's completed, I'm already there. So you're approaching the situation not from a response or a reactionary. It's actually from this place of creation. I am creating my reality, because the big myth, the big lie that we were all sold many years ago was that we're just like given these things in life, not realizing that we are actually in control of all of it. Our results are a reflection of us, but we've been taught the other way around. So we don't even see anymore that we're actually the ones who are in creation of this. So this is, if you receive somebody who is very reactionary in an email, and you can see they're inflamed and you can see they're not in their power, this is now stopping. And actually, instead of going, well, how do I actually manage this situation? And what is the ideal outcome of this situation at the highest level? And then coming from that energy and that frequency and deciding, this is a commandment, this is how this is going to go. This is not about being stubborn. This is not about controlling. This is none of those things. This is all an energetic place from within you. Because when you come into this energy of it is completed and is completed and the best and highest good for all, how you now interact with that, instead of respond, how you now interact is going to be completely different, because you are now coming from this energetic place of it is done, it is complete in the best and highest good for all. And this is now how you start to elevate things. Emotional mastery is understanding at a deep cellular level that you are the creator of everything in your reality. You have that much power. And when you start to do this, what you will start to notice over time, and this takes consistency. Everything I talk about in all my podcast, my lives, my content, everything, this requires consistency, because remember what I said, we are in a new paradigm. Things are way different. It's not that we have to do more. It's how we approach things completely has to shift. We are reprogramming ourselves. This takes consistency every single day. What happens when you do this and you show up differently and you change your energetic frequency and how you show up every single day? Situations start to change little by little. These don't happen as big, massive step overnight and the gates open up and everything's different. We start to see these little incremental changes. And next thing you do, you look 6 months later and you look back to where you were 6 months ago, and you cannot believe how much more successful you feel and have been, how your team responds to you differently. Everything about your life changes because you are now commanding your reality instead of letting it command you. All right, beautiful soul. I hope this was super powerful and super helpful, and I will talk to you soon.